From EDP445 being exposed as a PDF file to Wilbur Soot facing an onslaught of damaging allegations, it's hard to imagine that all of these YouTubers were once some of the most loved creators on the platform. However, as a result of betraying their audiences, their careers changed forever. My name's Ryan, and we're gonna find out what happens when a beloved YouTuber becomes hated, starting with the cupcake lover himself, EDP445. In the early days of YouTube, EDP was loved by almost everyone. What made him popular with his audience was the fact that he had no filter. He was a man who would speak his mind and make videos on any topic, regardless of its grossness or social stigma.
Yeah, I just took a mean ass shit in Chipotle. I used so much tissue to wipe my ass with. When I flushed the toilet, it didn't go all the way the down.
EDP earned the reputation as this funny, relatable guy who wasn't afraid to show his real and authentic side of things. However, little did anyone know that underneath this unfiltered personality was a very dirty truth. In 2020, rumors started going around online that EDP445 was a PDF file, but these rumors were quickly shot down by his audience since there was little to no evidence backing these claims. Though it wouldn't be long before these rumors would gain more credibility, which led to EDP's reputation changing forever. It all started on the 18th of April 2021 when EDP445 was on his way to pick up a cupcake. However, when EDP arrived, he was instead confronted by a group of people called the Predator Poachers who set up a sting operation to expose him. Because in reality, that cupcake was actually a deep-fake bear set up by the Pred Poachers to catch EDP red-handed, and he took the bait. They posted the footage to YouTube under the title "Famous YouTuber EDP445 Caught Meeting Bear," and it immediately went viral. The video started by showing screenshots of inappropriate messages sent by EDP to what he thought was a girl that wasn't old enough on Instagram. After some time, the decoy made plans to meet with EDP in person, and he actually showed up to the agreed location on time. When confronted about this, EDP claimed that he was there just to buy a cupcake.
Well, I was actually coming out here to pick up a cupcake and then go back home.
He also tried to claim that this whole thing was fake and fabricated to create drama and profit from his name. Unfortunately for him, the group confronting him had damning evidence of his inappropriate messages that they published in a 2-hour live stream for the whole world to see. By this point, there was nothing EDP could say or do that would clear his name. These allegations led to YouTube deleting his channel completely and banning him from ever returning to the platform. His Cameo account was also deleted after viewers reported the allegations to the company, leaving EDP with no source of income. EDP went from being an absolute legendary creator who many people looked up for his blunt takes to now one of the most hated people on the internet. But this was just the beginning of his downward spiral. While EDP didn't get in any legal trouble following these allegations, people of the internet weren't going to let him get away scot-free. Because after the deletion of his channel, EDP decided to go completely offline and pursue a normal life. However, wherever he went, people kept finding him and reporting his actions to his landlords and bosses, making it extremely difficult to find a place to live in and even find a job. According to a Discord user, EDP even applied for a job at Chuck E. Cheese, but didn't get the job for obvious reasons. What a great job for EDP, surrounded by children all day. Eventually, he stopped looking for a job and began working as a Lyft driver while also delivering food services like Grubhub and Uber Eats. But just like before, his past caught up with him, resulting in him being recognized and eventually getting fired from all 3 positions.
He was driving Lyft, he was driving for Grubhub and Uber Eats, and all 3 of those companies fired him.
In a moment of desperation, EDP applied for a name change to regain some anonymity, but as fate would have it, someone found and leaked the document he filed with the government. Not to mention, this was also not a very effective tactic, as a comment on his subreddit pointed out, he's going to need to drop a massive amount of weight in cosmetic surgery if he wants to have the chance of people not being able to recognize him. After trying his luck with regular employment and failing miserably, EDP decided to return to online creation and began streaming on lesser-known platforms like Bigo. He also had a new strategy which involved leveraging the internet's hate towards him.
His whole, from what I understand, his whole streaming career now is he brings people on and they just insult him. Like, it's like he is literally letting people line up to throw tomatoes at him, you know, as a public humiliation thing, but they have to pay for those tomatoes, so he makes a little bit off of that. That's, at least from what I understand, the whole business model now is just being this human punching bag.
But this didn't work out well for him either. And after facing this constant backlash, EDP made another apology video in July 2023. But instead of winning hearts, it fell flat, as viewers saw right through his fake facade.
I want to take full responsibility for my actions that happened on April 21st, 2021. The entire YouTube shit that went down, the entire YouTube incident, you know what I mean, that went to down. I'm not even going to get into it. You guys already know what the happened. I'm taking full responsibility, full accountability for my actions.
He doesn't even say what he did and what he is guilty of. He just loosely refers to it vaguely and brushes it off quickly. That is the opposite of taking accountability. He doesn't even address it directly.
But there were some people who did believe the apology was sincere and genuine. That would change soon enough though, as a few months later, EDP was caught a second time sending inappropriate messages and pictures to another cupcake in September. This time, he was confronted by big names like Jadion and Skater Gene, who caught him once again messaging people who are not old enough.
This is not a f***ing joke, man.
I'm just seldom at a loss for words. 2 years ago you were caught
Kiss my ass.
in 4K trying to meet a 13-year-old and
Really,
I'm not talking to you.
Why-
I'm talking to
Really, my this is bullshit, man, that y'all pulling right now?
Unlike the last incident, however, law enforcement is fully involved this time and an actual case is being built against EDP for his heinous crimes. Regardless of the outcome of this case, EDP's future looks bleak with no hope of redemption, which many would agree is quite similar to the story of Wilbur Soot. Wilbur has been an online creator for most of his life, uploading his first videos on YouTube back in 2008 when he was just 12 years old. He would hop around a few different channels like Settings 66, Minecraft and Donuts, and A Little Bit of Will. However, Wilbur ultimately settled for a personal channel called Wilbur Soot in 2019 that was focused on Minecraft. This is where his audience truly exploded. He joined the massively popular Dream SMP server and started collaborating with creators like Dream, Tommy Innit, and Tubbo. And while these collaborations certainly helped, what made Wilbur truly popular was his natural charisma and his dedication to making entertaining content for his audience. During this time, Wilbur also uploaded some original music, which went viral with his song called Your New Boyfriend, receiving over 78 million views. With his popularity skyrocketing, Wilbur was becoming one of YouTube's most famous creators. However, all of that would change in 2024, when serious allegations about his off-camera behavior went viral on the internet. Wilbur's downfall began in February of 2024, when a creator by the name of Shelby Shovel hosted a livestream titled Talking About Something More Serious with a trigger warning for abuse. During this livestream, she began recounting her horrible experience with her British ex-boyfriend. And while she didn't give out any names during the stream, viewers quickly made the connection that she was talking about none other than Wilbur Soot. In the stream, the discussion revolved around abuse and early signs of toxic relationships. She bravely shared her experience, revealing that her ex, Wilbur Soot, would regularly bite her. And these weren't gentle or affectionate gestures, they left deep bruises. Shockingly, she admits that at the time, she didn't recognize this behavior as abuse.
When I hear about physical abuse, I think of hitting. I think of hitting and punching. So I thought that this wasn't violent enough to be abuse. I thought that it was just like a constant accident that he kept hurting me.
Wilbur also tried to play it as a cute habit of his and nothing serious.
He said that he had had this habit since he was a kid, and even his mom said that that was true. And he said it was just affectionate.
Now, this might have been true at the start, but it kept getting worse to the point where Wilbur had to target different areas of her body to avoid visible bruises from previous bites. She also revealed that Wilbur was extremely manipulative, where he would worry about how the bruises looked to other people and not how they affected Shelby. And when Shelby raised her concerns, the couple decided to set a safe word. She initially thought that this was a gesture of care, and having a safe word meant that he didn't want to accidentally hurt her again. But this thinking backfired during the final months of their relationship.
He had, now at this point, weaponized the safe word and was using it to ensure that I was hurt, and on a constant basis. And he wasn't sorry anymore.
Fortunately for Shelby, she eventually found the courage to break up with Wilbur and escape his abuse and manipulations. As the contents of the stream started circulating in social media, people started to show their support for Shelby while also voicing their anger towards Wilbur. Even his longtime fans were furious at his actions. I had been a Wilbur fan for years and I cannot believe he did this and I'm pissed. This makes me absolutely sick. Smiling after making her yell in pain several times a day, making her so anxious she was physically ill, lying, and posting a bullshit apology. He is nothing but a sick, manipulative, sadistic, psychopathic asshole. After a week of silence, Wilbur responded to these allegations, which only made things far worse. On the 27th of February 2024, Wilbur Soot made a tweet explaining his side of the story. In this tweet, he claimed that he believed the whole situation was consensual and he was shocked by Shelby seeing his behavior as abuse. The allegation of abuse, particularly in the form of biting, deeply shocked me. Throughout our relationship, I understood from our numerous conversations and text message exchanges on the subject that this behavior was consensual, playful, and reciprocally enjoyed. However, people weren't happy with this response one bit. Your inexcusable behavior should have never gotten to the point that it did. You should have started this by apologizing and not going on about how you're just now changing. People have already been hurt both physically and mentally by your actions. The consequences? Wilbur ended up losing 400,000 subscribers on his YouTube in just a few days. However, while the situation was quite serious, there was still some hope for Wilbur. All he had to do was post a sincere apology video for his actions and return to the world of online content creation. But this hope was short-lived, as a tweet from another one of his ex-girlfriends would seal the deal forever. On March 9, 2024, a Twitter user by the name of Alice made a tweet explaining her experience with Wilbur in the past. She pretty much validated Shelby's side of the story and also talked about his manipulative tendencies. She also stated that she would have come forward with this info sooner, but she was scared of Wilbur's public influence and receiving backlash from his fans. Would Wilbur be able to somehow bounce back from this controversy? The answer to that still remains uncertain, except there's one person on their list that literally said no to losing his reputation and bounced back from the controversy by making the right decisions. This is Linus Tech Tips, which is why we cite him as an example of the only YouTuber who defied this list. You wouldn't be wrong to assume that Linus is one of, if not the most influential tech content creators on the planet. The channel's founder, Linus Sebastian, has been a part of the tech space for over 16 years now and is one of the most respected opinions when it comes to computers and electronics in general. Linus's media empire isn't limited to just LTT either, as his company Linus Media Group operates 7 other channels that upload 17 new videos every week and have nearly 27 million subscribers in total. Last year, despite its immense power and influence, this $100 million media titan nearly came crashing down. The reason? A string of controversies that would have shattered people's trust in Linus and his hard-earned media empire if he hadn't taken notice. The whole thing started quite subtly, with one of Linus's employees claiming that their testing was better than other tech channels like Hardware Unboxed and Gamers Nexus during a tour of LTT's testing lab.
The difference between us and somebody like Gamers Nexus or Hardware Unboxed is we test new components, new tests every time. Every project that we do.
The tour itself was well received, and while some viewers took offense to the shade thrown at other tech channels, it wasn't anything major. That was until Hardware Unboxed made a tweet stating, "LTT Labs taking shots. I've rerun more benchmarks than Linus has spent on testing equipment and staff. If you have to tell everyone how good your testing is, in my 20+ years of experience, that generally means your testing isn't very good. Your work speaks for itself, guys. That's how you build credibility." Even this would have been considered nothing more than banter between these two YouTubers who were operating in the same niche. Unfortunately, Linus made a response to the tweet on his WAN Show podcast, which both improved and worsened the situation. On the one hand, he acted like a responsible adult, clearly acknowledging the mistake of his employee and calling it out as wrong.
We don't want to be talking about it the way that we did. I don't think we should ever make a comparison that is, a good thing we do compared to those other guys. If anything, we should be trying to build each other up. Yeah, we respect Gamers Nexus and Hardware Unboxed a lot, which were the two particular outlets that were referenced by Tim.
But in the same argument, he also positioned himself as a more pro-consumer.
We are working together to hold manufacturers accountable, and friendly competition between media outlets, that is good.
This pro-consumer sentiment rubbed some fans the wrong way, as not too long ago, Linus was under fire for not providing a warranty for his $250 premium backpack. Linus is the person who bitches about all the big companies and their policies, but when it comes to their products, he doesn't want to do it. He's ready to hold framework accountable, but doesn't want to be accountable. Hypocrisy at its best. However, things wouldn't truly get out of hand until August 14, 2023, when Gamers Nexus posted a video titled, "The Problem with Linus Tech Tips, Accuracy, Ethics, and Responsibility." In this video, Gamers Nexus would reveal the results of their independent investigation of LTT's testing practices. He talked about how LTT's rush to upload daily makes their testing inaccurate, and also listed a number of examples from their video. He also mentioned the situation surrounding a company called Billet Labs, which sent a prototype to LTT for a review. According to Gamers Nexus, Linus used the wrong equipment to test Billet Labs, which is irresponsible as it made the prototype look much worse.
LMG decided to try it and continued with the video despite misrepresenting the product massively by using it on an incompatible device that it literally would not fit properly. LTT's presentation goes down the path of being irresponsible.
To make matters even worse, LTT also auctioned Billet Labs' only prototype for charity without asking for their permission. Following this expose from Steve, Linus responded with a forum post in which he compared Steve's video to a public sniping match and that he wouldn't be drawn into it. But this criticism was about to get a lot worse as one of the employees of the channel came forward with allegations of mistreatment. Madison, a former employee of LTT, made a series of tweets in which she claimed that her experience at Linus Media Group was horrible. She called the work environment toxic and abusive, citing incidents of alleged harassment where HR reportedly failed to take action. These tweets made the mob of already angry fans even more furious, and LTT was starting to notice. Within days, LTT lost over 200,000 subscribers, and an even bigger hit came when the company lost over 5,000 members on their paid streaming service, Floatplane. This would have cost the company over $300,000 a year in revenue. Circumstances like these would have sunk any other YouTuber, however not Linus, as he quickly demonstrated why he's the GOAT of tech media. LTT immediately took responsibility for their mistakes, apologized, and announced a 10-day break from uploading videos to rework their testing and result validation system. They also took Madison's allegations seriously and hired a third party to investigate the matter thoroughly. In the end, Linus Tech Tip's quick and effective response helped the channel find its footing and regain the viewers it had lost. And although Linus didn't lose his reputation entirely, we wanted to set him as an example of how any YouTuber can get out of any controversial situation by making the right decisions. Decisions that the next YouTuber on our list did not make, and chances are, their reputation may never recover from their missteps. We're of course talking about Lionmaker, who started his career as a fairly typical Minecraft YouTuber in 2013. His channel saw moderate success, nothing too groundbreaking. However, the turning point came 2 years later in September of 2015, when Keemstar uploaded a video in Lionmaker titled, "Angry Mother, Lionmaker Asked Minecraft Kid for Nudes." The video featured an interview with a mother who claimed that Lionmaker had asked inappropriate photos of her daughter. In addition to the verbal accusation, the video also featured a screenshot of Lionmaker asking for the photos from someone he knew was not old enough. Lionmaker strongly denied these allegations, claiming that his account was hacked and that he wasn't responsible for the messages. This excuse was met with a lot of skepticism from the online community, and just like many expected, the denial was the starting point of Lionmaker's fall from grace. A few months later, another disturbing story featuring the Minecraft YouTuber came out. This time, it was from a channel called ChainRoyal XD. In the video, a kid named Steven Chinks explained that he had been talking with Lionmaker online since he was too young, and while his earlier conversations were quite normal, Lionmaker started sending him inappropriate videos as time went on. He also revealed that Lionmaker offered to pay $500 in exchange for his new photos. During this time, Lionmaker also posted a disturbing photo of his online girlfriend Paige the Panda on Twitter. After this tweet was taken down, Lionmaker began denying that he never made this tweet in the first place. Following these incidents, Lionmaker posted a video in which he claimed that all of these accusations were nothing more than slander and that he would sue anyone who made a negative video about his actions.
I have been going around on YouTube finding videos which talk about me in a slandering manner. Now, if you don't know what slander is a crime. It is my right to try wherever I can, whatever possible means I have to take that video down, whatever those means are. They were wrong, I am right.
After seeing this response, Colossal Was Crazy, a YouTuber who had been covering the Lionmaker controversies in detail, invited him to an interview which he accepted. Colossal Was Crazy posted the over 2-hour interview in November of 2016, and it cleared any doubts about Lionmaker's true nature. The most telling part of the interview was when Colossal asked Lionmaker if dating a mother was wrong, and Lionmaker couldn't give a clear answer to the obvious question.
You can say the same for me. If I'm in a relationship with a 16-year-old, I'm 28, same age as you, is that f***ed up? It's a very, very simple question. You only have to answer yes or no.
I don't, Colossal, because
I find it interesting that you're dodging that question when it's a very simple question.
I'm not dodging the question.
I don't think you can answer it. I think your moral compass is completely f***ed and you can't answer it. That's what I think.
Eventually, Lionmaker went silent and YouTube completely deleted his channel with nearly 800,000 subscribers. But the worst was yet to come. In 2018, Paige the Panda finally broke her silence and uploaded a video in which she detailed her side of the story. She confirmed that she was in an abusive online relationship with Lionmaker for 3 years, which started when she was only 14.
The abuse happened from the age of 14 to 17.
She also validated that Lionmaker was the one who asked for the inappropriate photos from the person that we talked about earlier and not some hacker.
The 13-year-old girl, I really want to address that, to be honest. I know it's not to do with me, but it's one of those things that I just feel that she deserves to have it known out there to the world that it was him.
Needless to say, this video was the last nail in the coffin for Lionmaker's reputation. He did try to come back with a new channel called Lionmaker in 2019, but YouTube quickly shut it down. His attempt at gaining sympathy with an Instagram meltdown didn't help either.
You can't face the truth. You can't face it. Like face value. Face value! Because you're all delusional!
Bottom line, Lionmaker's days as a YouTube creator are forever gone, a fate that might also await iilluminaughtii. iilluminaughtii became famous for exposing evil companies, with their videos uncovering the many controversies of organizations like PETA, Autism Speaks, and SeaWorld receiving millions of views. People liked how she explained things clearly, showed evidence, and ended her videos with thoughtful conclusions that made viewers feel informed and not overwhelmed. However, the monthly views of her channel dropped by a whopping 98% in the past year, essentially ending her career as an online content creator. So what exactly happened? Well, the whole thing started with iilluminaughtii, also known as Blair, calling out Legal Eagle for stealing a video editing trick from her video in a tweet reading, "Not at Legal Eagle editors, broaching my editors to take my video style, and when they didn't give up the info, they literally copied it." This tweet was immediately met with a massive sigh from the public, as people believed that she was overreacting over what is essentially a basic video editing trick. Absolutely ridiculous. People love starting drama and overreacting to simple things. Grow up. However, the hypocrisy was shown when someone also found clips of her copying statements word for word from other documentaries in her videos.
Professor Hugh Freudenberg.
Professor Freudenberg has long been controversial.
A man named Hugh Freudenberg, a former immunologist who has been long controversial.
In 1989, he was caught up in a bizarre lawsuit involving the Food and Drug Administration, which told him he had to stop injecting his autistic child patients with blood products.
In 1989, he was caught up in a bizarre lawsuit with the Food and Drug Administration, which told him he had to stop injecting his autistic patients with blood products.
Legal Eagle calmed things down by stating that the whole situation was likely just a misunderstanding and that no one on his team was trying to copy her. And at the time, Legal Eagle's response seemed to calm everything down, but things were about to become a lot worse for Blair, because what happened next turned her into one of the most hated creators on the planet. Just 3 days after the Legal Eagle drama, The Click, a YouTuber who was a part of Blair's group called Sad Milk, posted a Twitter thread in which he exposed Blair's attitude off camera. In this thread, he accused Blair of being abusive, petty, and angry towards her coworkers. The last meeting I ever had with her, she spent half an hour screaming at me for an array of random things, calling me a bad friend, lazy, and a bunch of random accusations that didn't really have anything to do with me. And before Blair had the chance to respond to these tweets, another former member of Sad Milk, Wonderstruck YT, jumped in and pretty much agreed with everything the Click said about her. But what's worse than two ex-employees outing your behavior off camera? Your ex-boyfriend backing it up. Blair's ex-boyfriend Oz Media not only confirmed but added to the growing list of accusations as he talked about her spiteful nature and anger management issues. Blair was indeed the aggressor. She always has been. On Sad Milk, she would blacklist former collaborators from being mentioned, but manually approve hateful comments towards them. He also revealed that his relationship with Blair led him to losing all of his friends and becoming extremely lonely. Blair eventually posted an apology video, which many saw as less than of an apology and more of an attempt to come off as the victim in this whole situation. Unfortunately for her, the love her audience once had for her and her content was gone. The apology video was met with harsh backlash, and her once flourishing reputation was in the ground, with one viewer stating, "I was a fan of Blair and now I'm a fan of her videos covering her downfall. It's nice when people actually have consequences for their actions." Ultimately, iilluminauttii's audience abandoned her for her bad attitude and questionable behavior. Though sometimes, the reason behind internet's hatred is a lot simpler, like what happened with Kwebbelkop. Kwebbelkop was once part of the most influential gamers on YouTube, right alongside the likes of Jacksepticeye and Markiplier, with his main channel having over 7 billion views in total. Unfortunately, after posting almost daily for over a decade, he started to feel burnt out. However, instead of slowing down or taking a break, Kwebbelkop had another idea: AI. He saw the recent advancements profits in AI technology and decided to create an automated clone of himself to run his channel. This wasn't a pipe dream either, as Kwebbelkop was already successfully operating an AI-powered VTuber called Blue with content that was aimed towards young kids.
Wait, no, we gotta go first, come on! Oh, yes! Oh my god!
But before you could implement similar techniques for his main channel, Moist Critical pointed out the major flaw in his AI content idea.
Why do you view this situation as a good thing? I mean, for you, I get it because it's a lot of money, owning all those channels and all the ad revenue. But as someone who keeps presenting himself as a guy who doesn't care about the money and does it for good content, how can you possibly sit here and try and convince your audience of Kwebbelflops that this is a good thing? Just a million channels of completely soulless, generated scripts.
In other words, going the full AI route would make his content completely soulless, removing the U from YouTube. However, Kwebbelkop was completely confident in his vision of the future and was determined to prove the haters wrong. I'm confident that our algorithms will be able to pull millions of views a month and entertain tons of people. But if everything was this idealistic, we wouldn't be here making this documentary. In short, Kwebbelkop's idea didn't pan out as he hoped. He uploaded his first fully AI-generated video in August of 2023.
Oh my god, guys, it says break the block below you, but I can't lie, I'm kind of scared because I'm not sure if it'll actually regenerate, but let's just do it and... Oh my god, the block will regenerate.
And while this video did receive some attention due to its novelty, people hated the idea itself. The general sentiment surrounding this video could be summed up by this single comment from a disappointed viewer reading, "Kwebbelkop is now the literal definition of you either die a hero or live long enough to see yourself become the villain." Kwebbelkop later took down this video because he didn't think the AI was ready, but the damage was already done, as most of his remaining viewers left as well. Today, his channel with over 15 million subscribers is struggling to crack 50,000 views per video, all because he wanted to automate this process.